Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Cancer for December 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, to see my wealth of resources there. I've got lots of blogs and other things, and including live readings now. So if you have been wanting to have my insights about your chart, you can book a live reading at anniehelpsyou.com. So what is going on in December? We've got this beautiful wrap up to a pretty crazy major year for Cancers, huh? Lots of breaking out of the matrix and creating new realities, and just so many things going on energetically for Cancer, and that energy is going to keep on keeping on, which I'll get to why there's certain things specific for you. But in general, this month of December is about wrapping up unfinished business. It's going to be very busy, lots of positive, optimistic energy from all the Sag placements continuing. With every week we move into December, the retrograde energies from Mercury and Venus are going to be cast off. And it's so exciting because we've had a year of retrogrades. So if you've been stuck and you haven't had things moving forward in the way that you want to, this month could be the game changer, okay? So as we get to the end of the month, all the retrograde energies are clear. And we're set up for this brilliant new year, which is not always true. Every new year doesn't always feel like a new year because the astrological transits set the pace for how the energy feels. And when we have certain energies and certain transits at the beginning of January or in January, it can change how we feel about it like being a new year. But not this year. This year, everything is set up to be wide open for us to actually have it feel like a brilliant new year, a new clean slate. So December is very much about wrapping up unfinished business, getting things cleared out, checking things off your list, and just kind of being open to the possibilities and the radical changes. And there will likely be quite a few. Because first of all the personal, I told you the personal planets will be retrograde, but then all the outer planets will be direct, which is very rare. So that's setting us up to have even more liftoff. And then the third thing is these eclipses. So we've got 2 eclipses in January, and we're getting deeper into the Cancer Capricorn eclipse cycle. So whenever we have eclipses in our own sign, as you have had and you're going to continue to have until the middle of 2020, there's just more chance for radical changes, big things coming in, big things going out. So we're going to feel those potentials or those manifestations sometimes as early as like 6 weeks or so before, even more. So the end of November, you could be really feeling these. But definitely December is hot spot for eclipse changes and news to start coming in a very big way. And for clarity about what to do next and where to go next and what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to talk about the first eclipse in this December report. I'm going to show you the charts for early, middle, and late to show you exactly where that eclipse is going to hit and what you can expect with that. Then in the January report, I'll do the second eclipse and where that hits for all Cancers. And of course, that will be out a month early. So by December, you'll have both the December and January reports out, and that will cover both of the eclipses so that you can understand better what kind of manifestations you're very likely to start seeing in December and possibly even a little bit sooner. Okay, so because I had so much overwhelming excitement and support about using the visuals for the charts like I did last month, I'm going to continue to take the time to do that. So I'm going to transition now into looking at the actual charts for early, middle, and late degree placements. If you're not sure where you fit in there, I'll show you how to figure that out. And I'll show you where the eclipses are going to hit and what you can expect. Hello, Cancer friends. Okay, so now we've got the visuals for the chart so I can show you some things about the month of December and beyond for you, and you can understand not just what may happen, but also why. Okay, so if you're not interested in the why, that's okay. You'll still get tidbits about the what. But I'm an astrology teacher, and I love to teach astrology, so I cater to those who also want these juicy details. Okay, so the first thing to note is that we have Mars moving through Pisces. Okay, so whenever we've got a planet moving through, of course, you also have all these other planets in Pisces too, but those are longer term planets or transits. But in any case, Mars, as it moves through Pisces, is giving beautiful kisses to all your Cancer placements. Okay, so right now we're going to use this early degree Cancer chart to illustrate certain things that are true for all Cancer placements, and then when there's going to be a difference between manifestations, I'll get into early, middle, and late, and what your placement is and what those chart differences look like. Okay, but right now we're just working off of the energies of that are basically the same for everybody. Okay, so as Mars moves through the placements of Pisces, it's making 120-degree angles with your Cancer placements, okay? So those are beautiful kisses. Those are lips, in case you can't tell. There we go. So Mars is giving kisses to your Cancer placements. So that can bring really wonderful motivation. That can bring some great flow for moving forward and getting things done. And of course, as we talked about, you know, this retrograde cloak is being taken off of us, so that can really help things to start moving forward. Okay, so yay for blessings from Mars for this month. Then we've got all of these Sag planets. We talked about Jupiter in the November report. If you haven't listened to my November report, definitely go back and listen to that, because things I talk about will be relevant still now and beyond about Jupiter's movement into Sag and what Cancers can expect from that. So besides Jupiter continuing to make kisses to you early degree placements, so the ones at the beginning of the sign, or I guess it's not kisses. I'm still on this thing here where Mars was giving kisses. I talk about kisses when we talk about easy aspects like 120 degrees. But what I want to start talking about now with Sagittarius is actually an awkward angle. So we'll just put kind of like a kind of person being awkward, okay? So when the planets get into Sagittarius, it makes an angle that is awkward to Cancer placements. And what that can do is bring some discomfort. It can bring extra busyness. It can make you feel worn out. Also, I think in general at this time of year, you'll notice that all of the extra maybe family and other interactions with people may be a little bit hard on you because of, you know, your sensitive nature and your empathic nature in many cases. So the holiday time could bring some stress, but at the same time, it brings these Sag planets bring this like buoying, you know, this optimism, this lifting, you know, so there's like this simultaneous increase in hope and expanded energies, but that's also to how you are, you know, to your being, the angle it makes to Cancer placements just can be a little bit jarring. It can be a little bit grating. So definitely seek to take your quiet personal time in between all of the busyness this month, because there will be lots of busyness, lots of things going on from these Sag energies besides just typical holiday things. So definitely a message here is to take your space, you know, take your space, take your quiet time, take your rest. If you need to go in another room, if a bunch of people are at your house or something, then don't be afraid to do that and help you have a smoother cycle here. Should we leave our little person giving Mars kisses up here? Maybe we will at first, just for now. Okay, so now let's talk about these eclipses. Okay, so the eclipses are happening in January. Remember, we're going to talk about the second eclipse in the January report. So we're going to look at the first one, which is 15 degrees of Capricorn. So this is moving into the second part of the cycle of the Capricorn-Cancer eclipses that started in the middle of 2018 and go to the middle of 2020. Gosh, it's really hard to write on this thing. So I'm sorry for my chicken scratching here. But anyway, so from the middle of 2018 through the middle of 2020, you've got these Cancer-Capricorn eclipses that are bringing very radical changes to the energies of home and family, plus work and your place out in the world. This is true for everybody. Everybody in the zodiac will be having an increase in potentials for work, their place out in the world, relationships with father figures, and then the Cancer, home, energies of mother, energies of internal, emotional energies, home, real estate, things having to do with houses, things like that. But it's more powerful for people who have placements in, you know, one of these polarities, because the eclipses are happening either in opposition to, so that's a 180-degree angle opposing, or in conjunction to Cancer placements. So the odds of one of your Cancer placements getting hit exactly or in close proximity during this cycle is pretty great. So that brings the changes closer to you, more at home, to home. And not sometimes literally your house, right? Because we're talking about Cancer house stuff, but really home, like just personal in your world. So 15 degrees of Capricorn for you early degree placements, right? We have to go back and establish who's early degree placement before we do that. Early is you June born Cancers, okay? And then middle is around July 1st through 10th. Okay, and then late is like the 11th through the rest of the sign. Okay, so if you're watching for your rising sign or moon sign, early is 0 to 9 degrees, middle is 10 to 19 degrees, and late is 20 to 29 degrees. Okay, if you didn't catch that, definitely rewind and try to go back to get it, because although I love to help and answer questions, I'm having more and more and more posts, and it's very hard for me to keep up. So if there's something that can be answered in the video, then I would love it if you could do that. So that would be easier for me. Okay, so now we figured out if you're an early, middle, or late degree placement. Now we can see where this eclipse is going to hit. Eclipses bring new energy. Solar eclipses bring new beginnings. Okay, so that's, the lunar eclipses tend to bring a culmination to old things and end things, but this solar eclipse energy we're talking about is new. So for you early degree placements, you're going to have that in the 7th house. 15 degrees of Cap is very clearly for you early degree placements in the 7th house. For you middle degree placements, that is going to be between the 6th and 7th house. Okay, so this right here, this is why I take the time to talk about early, middle, and late degree placements, because it would be easier for me to just say, use the whole house system and say, every Cancer is going to have this eclipse happen in their 7th house. But from the Placidus standpoint, that's not true. So you can see that. And now when you take the late into consideration, I know it's hard to see. It's like looking at all these symbols could be crazy making, but 15 degrees of Capricorn in this chart is in the 6th house pretty clearly. Okay, so late degree placements, you're going to have this in the 6th house. Middle degree placements, you're going to have this in the 6th or 7th. And early degree placements is going to be in the 7th. All right, so let's break this down and see what you can expect with that. So early and some middle degree placements will feel new energy in relationship. This can be straight up new love. This can be straight up new business partner. Could also be new important client or something, work related, or an important relationship that's not related to love or money could also pop in there. Something new as it relates to one-on-one relationships with other people. That could be a new chapter in a current relationship. So someone that you're in a relationship with, you go to a next level. For some people, it will be you're together and then you get engaged, or you're together, then you move in, you're together, you have a baby, you get married, something like that. It's like a new chapter there. Or it can just be a more subtle chapter, like an old pattern ended and you move into a new pattern, something like that. Okay, so lots of work opportunities, lots of love opportunities, lots of chances to make a resolution with a past problem. If you are a person who has somebody aggravating the crap out of you and you cannot seem to do anything about it and you do not know what to do and you feel completely helpless, the spiritual lesson here is to remember that even if the person seems like they have power in the situation and you look on one level and say, this person has power, clearly they're keeping me in a certain situation or whatever the story is there. Just remember that infinite spirit has the ultimate power. Humans are very weak compared to infinite spirit. So what's more true is that the person may be showing you something. They may be a reflector for you of something unresolved that you have to resolve so that they can play a different role. They can do a different story. Again, I'm not absolving people if they're annoying you, but in a quantum reality, we can't have an experience that we're not a vibrational match for. So this could be a time where you have an individual internal empowerment breakthrough where you realize, wow, I need to do some inner work to change what I'm vibrating to so that this person can stop annoying me. So that's very possible. So there could be an amplification of an ongoing issue that gives you an opportunity to shift it. There could be a resolution. There could be something that wasn't a problem come up so that it can be cleared. Relationships are the focus there for early and some of you middle. Okay, so now for you middle, the rest of the middle and late degree placements. So just to be clear, middle degree placements, you can experience the eclipse in the 7th, the 6th, or both. Some people on the line there will notice that they have manifestations in both arenas. Because when it comes down to it, these lines don't really exist. That's the thing about these lines. We see these lines like 6th house, 7th house, there's a line there. That line's not like a big brick wall. That line is an energetic transitioning into another energy, but when something is in both places, it's in movement and is affecting both places. Okay, so that's something that I very much teach in astrology that I'm hoping to help you understand is that if you're in a late degree placement or an early degree placement, you're close to something else. Something is in one house next to the other house. Those things are happening in both places at the same time. Okay, so there's no major black and white division in those areas. Okay, so middle and late degree placements, you can have new beginnings in the 6th house. So new pets, new animals, and whether it's relationships or animals or whatever for everybody, the end of December is completely clear of the retrograde energy. So if you're trying to do something, get clarity, make good big decisions, forward-moving decisions, that's an amazing time. Certain things may come to fruition sooner than that, but if you're planning something, that period of time is very clear. Okay, so new pets, new things with animals, new diet, regimen, exercise, medical treatments. If you've been having ongoing health issues, and we can see from just get a little bit of this Pluto and Saturn, those are heavy placements. Okay, that's a late degree chart. You can see that Pluto and Saturn have been influencing in that division. And then you can see, I got to get this guy out of there. In the middle chart, for some of you, Pluto could be still influencing, but Saturn's still there. Okay, and let's check out and see if this has anything to do with early. Early, you guys just recently had Saturn move on. So the pressure in the physical body and health arenas for many cancers will have started to transition out. Okay, so maybe more solutions coming. But for you middle and late degree placements, the energy of health is still very much in the forefront. So this may be a time of, the solar eclipse could be a time of breakthroughs, of information, of diagnosis, of finding out an elucidation of the problem. It's a really great time to look into trying to figure out what's wrong, and also a great time to try to find therapies. Also, your perfect practitioner. So both the 6th and 7th house solar eclipses can bring in someone that really helps you. Somebody that help, and for both 6th and 7th, so early, middle, and late, this solar eclipse can bring in your perfect admin helper, your perfect other person for your business that you really need to do things with, your perfect accountant, or your perfect practitioner who can help you with the inner work or the medical things. It makes you very attractive to finding the perfect practitioner. So you may have a problem presented, but at the same time you may have a solution presented. Okay, so all of those things can come up. Also, new work. If you're looking for a job, especially middle and late degree placements, that 6th house eclipse energy can bring in new work. If you're self-employed, can bring in new business. Also for 6th house eclipses, it can bring in new organization system, like getting really organized, knuckling down, getting to business, and taking action on making your business work or getting a job or something like that. Okay, so those are the things that are most on my mind for the specific Cancer placements as far as it relates to the things we discussed. Now, I want to talk about some aspects to watch out for, those dates, my favorite launch dates, and some other things to know about the general transits for December. So the theme of December 2018 for all signs is ready to soar. Besides Jupiter getting deeper into Sagittarius, there are other reasons why this is the month that we have been waiting for such a long time. So this is the month that the long retrograde focus is finally ending. Most of the year of 2018, we've had personal planet retrogrades back to back and coinciding with each other. So even though the retrograde influences will still linger for most of the month, you'll definitely feel the cloak of retrograde energies becoming lighter and finally being removed at the end of the month. So Mercury is direct early in the month, December 6th. This change in directions coincides with the Sagittarius new moon, which we'll also talk about. It will take until December 18th for Venus to be done with its post-shadow period. Okay, so after December 18th, the Venus retrograde energy is completely done. But every day leading up to that, it's gone more and more anyway. And then December 25th is when the post-transit Mercury shadow period completely dissipates. And then we're going to be opening up into this brilliant and very rare period in January 2019 where every planet will be moving direct. So this is a really big time. So I've got some dates to note that we're going to go into details about, but in general, this month is about breaking free, being ready to soar, having liftoff, and we will have some things to look out for, and I will go into the details of that. So in general, well, actually, before I go into the details of this month, the dates to watch, remember that you can get a more in-depth and written version of these general transits when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. Okay, so you get all of the general transit reports a month early, like I do all my horoscopes, via email when you sign up for my free email newsletter. So if you want to be kept up to date for your planning and have a written version, then definitely go there. Okay, so we start out the month. So here I've got our visuals. We're going to look at Venus and Uranus. Okay, so we're just kind of ignoring the rising energy. We're not focusing on houses in this reading. We're just focusing on the relationship between the planets because it's a general reading, okay? So Venus rules love and money. And whenever we have Venus opposing Uranus, we're generally in for surprises involving love and money. Sometimes they can be great surprises like a chance romantic encounter or a heating up of your love life in some other way, or awesome money that comes out of nowhere, which also could coincide with having to work more, which could bring overstimulation, or just the surprise factor of money coming in can be, a little overwhelming. But it can also bring financial and love surprises that aren't welcome. So a fight with your beloved, an expense, or some other challenging financial news. Generally, the things that happen with these Venus-Uranus oppositions are quick to blow over. So if there's a fight, usually it will pass quickly. If there's a surprise with money, it usually tends to settle its way out pretty quickly. But do be aware that this transit that actually occurs on November 30th, on December 1st, is when these surprise energies are more common. And whenever I give you exact dates, remember that the transits don't always manifest as far as our experience of them on the exact date that they happen. So days before 12/1 and days after 12/1, you could experience these shocks or surprises. Okay, so that's the first thing to look out for this month. Something in general for the month of December to watch out for or to be aware of is that we've got a ton of Sag energy. This brings upliftment, This Mercury is going to move into Sag. So we've got these 3 planets moving in Sag, making aspects with each other. And I'll talk about some of the dates that are really amazing from these getting together. But the general energy of busyness, of travel, of learning, of teaching, people who are in the teaching businesses or speaking or publishing could be lighting up like the 4th of July for every sign. Anything having to do with international travel plans or long distance travel plans can be heated up here. Anything with languages, international business, anything like that. So, and in general, optimism, busyness, running around, and kind of possibly exhausting yourself, which now we move into this talk here, okay? So all these Sag energies are going to be here bringing all this busy stuff in. And then at some point, each of these are going to be making squares, 90-degree angles. Challenging, could be stressful, with these Pisces planets. So the way I always see that, and I have a very personal look at this because I have a ton of planets in Sag myself, and I tend to run myself to exhaustion. So a lot of that is going to be a theme of this month, running yourself to exhaustion. And the Pisces planets are going to be calling out for rest. Z's. You want to get more sleep and you want to get more rest. So this extroverted, busy energy is going to be competing with this sleep and rest and kind of a dreamy, artistic flow, emotional energy. So you'll see throughout the month points where those conflict. And if you take the warning to rest, you can save yourself from the overexhaustion and try to find a perfect balance, which ultimately, these 90-degree angles can help you do. So rest is going to be in order, busyness is going to be in order, and that's going to be a big theme of the month. Okay, so let's look at some other aspects here that were going to be important. So Mercury is going direct, as we said, on the 6th, so expect some awkwardness there as Mercury changes direction, and then the shadow period runs until 12:25. On 12:18, we have Venus post-transit shadow period finishing off, so then Venus is clear. Okay, and then on December 6th and 7th, depending on your time zone, we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. That's going to be at 15 degrees. And so new beginnings and time to make your new moon wishes in all of the areas of everything Sag, which we talked about before. Different countries, languages, cultures, teaching, learning, travel, international work, also spiritual or religious projects, writing, publishing, speaking. There's going to be an aspect with Mars and Neptune bringing an extra dreamy energy. See, Mars and Neptune are going to be together at the time of that new moon. And some things that come in may feel like they're too wonderful to be real. Very dreamy energy there. We're also going to have this time, as Mercury is still in Scorpio, trining Chiron. And that's going to be on 12/9, which is an extra sweetness, healing, solutions are more likely to roll in at that time. December 20th, mark a big star in your calendar for the days around December 20th through the 22nd. Okay, we're going to really 12/20, 12/21, 12/22. What happened there? There we go. Because on those days, first we're going to have the Sun trine Uranus. Okay, so it's going to make a 120-degree angle, the most favorable in all astrology. So a boost to anything and everything. This could bring happy surprises. It's more likely to bring happy surprises. Also, Venus is making a beautiful aspect at that time with Neptune. And one of the biggest things is that this Mercury is going to come and make this conjunction with Jupiter, which very often brings enhanced luck, good news, amazing things in the areas of Sagittarius that we mentioned. And so I'm putting this day and this period of time as my favorite launch days of the month. So even though, like I had said, Mercury doesn't regain its full strength till 12/25, the days that are just before that have so much beautiful energy. So if you have to bust something out, these days could be perfect for that. There'll be more time in January and into February if you're not quite ready, but there's an amazing energy about, busting forth at this time. Okay, so on December 22nd, we have a full moon at almost 1 degree of Cancer. And there's a little challenge with Mars and also some sweet aspects working at one with Uranus. But in general, that full moon can bring lots of family awesomeness. There is a chance for a little bit of conflict with the Mars and also a Chiron aspect. But many people will have amazing family fruition, fun, emotional, mostly for the good, but there could be some little tweaks in there, but just typical holiday family awesomeness, very likely around that time. Okay, so then there are some other aspects towards the end of the month, which is, 12/28. We've got another sweet aspect with Venus. See, during this month, Venus is going to come and make a nice aspect to Saturn, and then Venus is going to make a nice aspect to Pluto. So this is going to be really good for sweetness in your relationship. This can be really great for good news involving work and money. So there are lots of great boosts involving Venus, which is perfect because we're clear of the Venus retrograde energies and everybody's pretty much raring to go. Okay, so those are the things that I most wanted to talk about for the general transits. Definitely mark those dates in your calendar for really great energies. So then we will head into January just really with a legitimate feeling of a new year. If you've been listening to my reports for years, you know that I talk about certain Januaries because of certain transits not really feeling like a new year. But this January is really going to feel like a new year. And all of these things in December are leading up to that open energy. So we love that. Something else that is important to note if you are a holiday shopper, that because the energies from Mercury are still strong at the beginning of the month, it actually favors last minute shopping. So the closer you're getting to the holiday times, the more energy, more clear the energy will be. Okay, so just so you have that heads up for holiday shopping, the later part, the couple of weeks before the holiday times, are best for shopping even compared to November and early December. Okay, so those are the things most on my mind for the general transits. So I hope you loved the added component of the visuals for the charts. If you would like to have my personal insights about your chart, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and book a live reading. If you resonate with how I teach astrology and you want to learn more for personal or professional purposes, if you'd like to be an astrologer or include astrology as part of your professional offering, then I am going to be enrolling now, December into January, for the next run of my astrology apprenticeship program. So you can see that at anniehelpsyou.com, plus lots of other offerings there. If you'd like written horoscopes by me for your sign each month, go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. At cozybysweetstarlight.com, I will write about some things that I mention in the videos, but sometimes I talk about other stuff that I don't cover in the videos. So you get more information about what the month looks like for you, and plus great reads for each sign and lifestyle blogs by me and up and coming bloggers that I have on my site. If you're a traveler, then definitely check out my astrology travel reports, my monthly astrology travel reports at Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss. At astrologykissedtravelbliss.com, you get those monthly travel astrology reports plus other travel blogs and lots of beautiful pictures on all of my sites. So they're definitely something to see. If you're into tarot, you want to learn tarot, you want a tarot reading, then definitely check out my husband's work, B.R. Newman, at iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. You can check out his amazing offerings there. So I hope you have a wonderful month and a wonderful end to your year, and I'll see you next year. Bye.